don't like to bench press or squat or stuff much. So like for people that are looking for other alternatives to get stronger when they do bench, is there any machine that you would recommend?
The thing is, like, the only way you get better at benching, honestly, is by benching. Like, you can bring your strength up on auxiliary lifts. Like, a lot of powerlifters have written me saying, like, the way I teach stuff and the way I've shown them has helped them with their auxiliary lifts, making their bench better, whether it be tricep work or other chest work. But when it comes down to it, like, unless you're benching for a purpose of being a powerlifter, there's really no need for you to, like, it's not your goal to make the weight climb out of bench press. It's like the more the weight climbs on the bench press, like the closer the ceiling gets to you fucking hurting yourself. So it's like you get all this room when you're young and you're bench pressing. You get all these reps, and as you get closer and closer to that ceiling, it's like one more rep, one more set could be the one that's ding, or like next thing you go, your pec goes, your shoulder goes. And that's a true, like you can probably talk to any powerlifter and have them tell you the same thing. There's a shelf life of how many things you got. That's why when you see these powerlifters who powerlift massive weights, I'm not talking about the raw guys who don't have any assistance. These guys are just strong motherfuckers. They've all hurt themselves too. They've all hurt themselves at one way. But that's why you see these guys get into these astronomical weights. One, they have like knee or elbow wraps on that are like, they're so stiff they can't even bend their arm until weight gets on their arm. They're also wearing bench suits, so their arms are stuck like this, and you see like the person has to like move their hand into the position of the bar, and then they take the bar off. That fucking suit won't even allow them to bend unless it's over like 600 pounds. Like they'll just stay there locked out. So like there's a reason why all these precautions are taken and all this like safety gear or assistance gear is made to help them, because like the human body is not meant to do that. There's no need for that to be the case, right?
So do you remember when you hit your PR, where you were?
I think the most I ever benched for a single rep was in college. I did 605, and I had like my whole team around me, and my coach didn't tell me. I think I had done 595 or 585, and I bounced it off my chest, of course, because I was fucking young and stupid like everybody. Like I've done all the stupid shit too. I fucking bring that fucker down to like here, and boom, fucking thing would like bounce off my sternum, and I'd push through the last like 3 inches, right? But like I thought that was explosiveness. Turns out it was damaging to my body. But like yeah, that was the highest I ever benched. And then when I got the weight, I thought he put on like 5 more pounds aside. He's like, try and go a little higher, and he ended up putting on enough for it to be 605 to get me over 6. And he's like, you just fucking did it. And I'm like, what? Like I'm never doing that again.
So what about your team when you played then? Is everyone pushing like heavy weights like that, or you were just being crazy back then?
No, I mean, like you'd be surprised. Some football guys are. Actually, I would venture to guess a lot of football guys are a lot more football strong than they are weight room strong, and there's a very clear difference in that. Like I've known guys who I played with in college. We were a 1AA team. It's not like we had like top dudes. We had some fucking strong kids and some fucking really good players. I remember specifically this guy, Lewis Usher, who played on our team. He was the defensive end. He was like probably 6'4", like 290. And like he grunted the whole time he was running. And he just like clubbed people, like throw people. And you get this guy in the weight room and you're like, oh, he's gonna be strong. He couldn't even bench his body weight barely. But he would literally pick up a 300-pound lineman and throw him like to the side. Like, so it's like it doesn't transfer over always, right? A lot of guys like, it's not necessary. It's a blessing, I guess, to be good in the weight room, but it's also wear and tear on the body if you really think about it. So they want to be strong enough and explosive enough to like have it apply to the field. But all this auxiliary like looking pretty shit really doesn't matter when it comes down to playing the sport. So
how was your transition?
That's why I knew I'd be good at bodybuilding, because I was very strong in the weight room and very shit on the field. I knew what my calling was.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, how did you know that you liked it? Because I know, like, training for football is different than, like, what
I knew I liked bodybuilding because it didn't require me playing football. Yeah. And I didn't want to play football anymore. I was tired of going to practice. And
so were you disciplined enough then, like balancing between classes and going to like...
Yeah, I graduated. We weren't like a good enough school or a good enough team to have people calling grades for us. You know what I mean? Like we had to go to class.
You had to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
How do you know you wanted to do bodybuilding over like college?
Because I just knew my strength wasn't like I had very good strength in bench press, but I knew my other lifts were like lacking. They would take a lot of work, and I didn't want to put the work in for like deadlifting. Like I just didn't. I'm not built to deadlift, and I don't have it in me to like. I don't have the desire for it. Even when I was younger, every time I deadlifted, my deadlift form wasn't what it should be, and I'd always tweak something.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this isn't like. So yeah, I could be really good at benching, but as a powerlifter, you need bench, squat, deadlift. So I'm like, I got one of the three. My squat was not like world class either by any chance. You know, it was like. I don't know, I just got into bodybuilding because I knew that, because like I said before, like I liked bodybuilding from the time I was little. From like watching wrestlers who were jacked out of their minds. I thought they were jacked then, and I look at them now and I'm like, you weren't that big. Like Ultimate Warrior was big, but he wasn't like super big, he was ripped, right? But yeah, and then I just got into football. I mean, I got into bodybuilding after because I was like, fuck, I need to stay focused on something or I'm just gonna like be floating out in the abyss somewhere. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So, yeah. But I remember when specific story, I think I was like going to my last year of high school or something, and I was in Florida visiting like a family friend. Or it was like I was going to play football for the first time, so it was my junior year. I didn't play football till my junior year of high school. And my mom took me down to visit her friend in Florida with her, and I was like, it was like Florida in the summer is like 100 and something degrees Fahrenheit, like every day. It's fucking awful. And I was like convinced that like now I was going to be a football player. So I was like doing sprints outside every day on their house, like and like training in this like thick ass grass in Florida, which is like it's like fucking crab grass there. So I remember I was like training like a maniac, and I'd be watching like college football every night, and I was like this and this, and then fucking. I would go to the gym every day, and I was like speaking about maxing out and like bench pressing. I would go to the gym, and I was like every other kid who starts working out. And I understand kids, like teenagers, like I understand you fucking up in the gym. I'm trying to guide you from not doing that because I've done it all. So like I literally put, I don't know how much I put on the bar, I could not remember, but it was way too much for me at the time. So I did what I could do, and I got one rep, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna go for higher. I remember it was like significantly higher, like 30 pounds higher, and I struggled with what I just got. So I should have put like 5 pounds on, and I didn't want to spot because there's no one in the gym. It was just the guy at the front desk and like maybe like someone over there doing like dumbbells, and I remember I was like on the bench, and I took it off, and I was like, and I did I don't know if people like, no one's ever, every guy's probably done this. You've almost crushed your dick, saving yourself from getting crushed by a bench press. So the bar falls, so I bring the bar to my chest, and I'm like, and I'm holding it there like, I'm like, looking, so I'm like, I don't want to yell help because I was like, I don't want to be a bitch, right? So like I try to tip it to one side, but then I remember I put the clips on, so I'm like, fuck. And I'm like going like this, and I'm trying to like wedge my way. I was like, fuck, and like I was just stuck there. And at this point, I just stopped panicking. I'm like, I just gotta roll it. Like I gotta roll it. So I literally like ducked it forward, and then I rolled it down my stomach, and like tucked in my dick, and then fucking threw it on the floor. And like fucking bar rash, like a burn on my stomach, and like it rolled onto my quads. Almost pulled my pants down literally, and the guy heard the big smash, and he was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it's all good.
Good. I'm like stripping the plates off, like I just deadlifted. It's like, I guarantee there's people that have like so many stories of doing that. I did that shit in my garage too one time. I used to train in my garage, and I was like in high school. I'd come home from high school and I'd work out my garage. I had like a weight set, like a bench and squat, like a universal type thing with dumbbells. And I remember I was like going for, we had a couch behind the thing. There was like a couch pushed back in the garage, so like I rest on there and shit. But I remember I set the squat rack up, and I took it off. My squat was so shit when I was like younger. And I remember I like took it off, and it was like rickety, so like I taught it out, and I was like, ooh. And I was like, I'm gonna get it. And then I think it was like over 300 pounds, and I went down, and I did like this half thing, and right when I got to here, I realized I wasn't gonna get it, and I was like, oh shit. And I went like this, and I just bailed the bar. Like I just like got my arm twisted in the fucking bar, flew back and like crushed the couch. And I remember even the same thing. My dad and my stepdad was like, you all right? I'm like, oh yeah, the thing just fell.
Nothing crazy.
The bar's like half on the couch, half on the floor, just laying there. So many stupid stories of that. And I remember I was doing, oh my God. There used to be these bars. I don't think there's one here. They used to be like, they're kind of like oval shaped, I guess, and they got 2 poles down the side, like handles, and then the ends is for the weights, right? So it used to be for like curls or like curls like this. So I was doing on the bench, I was doing like a thing like this, but it was the old York dumbbells. I don't know if you guys remember these weight sets. They're plastic, but they had cement inside, so they were like, and they had little tiny holes that they went on each side of the thing. So I was doing this and I was struggling, and I kind of like twisted, and the fucking clip on that side slid off. So when this one slid off, this one slid and bang, hit me in the fucking face. I remember just sitting there like so stunned, like, like it thumped me right in the fucking forehead, and I'm like just holding the bar after, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why am I doing this? Like, so trust me, I've been doing the stupid things everyone else has done. I've done them over and over again. So when I see kids in here, like they're fucking obviously have no business doing these weights. It's like, guys, like, learn from. We learn by brain or we learn by pain, right? Like I said before.
The mullet, they got the mullet going on with the booty shorts and the Converse.
I mean, you look the part, but you ain't playing the part very well. It's like, I didn't look the part or play the part. I was by myself. I was like, I didn't want to be in a gym because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to do this in secret. You got to get hurt. One, you learn to put clips on bars. That's the number one thing you learn. Then you learn to get a spotter, at least someone to watch you, if not pick you up. You know what I mean? So that's why people are like, oh, you don't spot people in the gym. I'm like, I'll spot people that I train because, again, I know what they can do, and I have a good feel for like their strength level. I'm not just gonna squat, like help this guy bench. He's never benched that before, and next thing I know, I'm pulling this fucker, and then it's dropping on his chest, and I'm pulling it up. It's like, I'm not trying to be in that world, right? So it's like if you guys ask for spots from people, be realistic. Don't walk up to a guy and he's like, I'm like, how many do you think you're gonna get, Bassett? And he's like, 8 reps, I think. You're like, in your mind, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's got probably 6. I'm gonna help him on 2 with 2. And then he's like, no, I got 8, but you probably help me with the rest of them. So then I'm like, okay. Fucking 4 comes around. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, one more, bro. And it's like, brackets. And like, no, one more, I got it. It's like, no, I got it, motherfucker. I'm pulling it up. Like, you don't have shit. Like, you haven't had shit since the 4th rep. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, people are like, oh, you're a dick if you don't spot people. It's like, I'm not a dick. I'm understanding of the situation I'm walking into. I have situational awareness. Like, because I'll walk up and be like to the kid, like, have you ever done this before? And they're like, well, I think I can get it. I'm done. If you say I think I can get it for whatever, I'm like, no. It's like, you tell me, I usually do it for 10, which means you've done it. Like, I'm gonna go for like 1 more this time. Okay, I'm on board. But don't just come and be like, just keep an eye on me.
I got this.
Keep an eye on me. It's like, I'm gonna keep an eye on you from the fucking over there. I'll laugh when the bar lands on you. Yeah. Whenever I bailed on weights, I was always like alone. Just like, it was life or death. You know what I mean? Just gonna fucking, it's either gonna crush me or not.
Is there?
I gotta bail out of that fucker.
When you wrapped up like your football career to kind of transition there, is there?
Yeah.
Anything like transferable that you took those skills or mindset that helped you kind of what you do now?
Oh yeah, I mean football. I credit football and playing football, especially in college, with like making me kind of who I am today. Not necessarily that I didn't. Here's the thing. Life is not always like great and happy and joyous and all this stuff, but like sometimes you gotta go through some shit to like really appreciate life, and it also toughens you up in the sense that like, yeah, after I've been through this, nothing can really, like, I'm not really gonna get fazed by much. Like, I'm pretty good at handling stress, right? So like like being organized, being focused, having like a goal, like not having to like monitor myself and control myself and be accountable, all that stuff is taught to you when you're in college football. Especially at my level, we're not like talking like I was at Alabama, I get to fucking run around, do what I want. Got boosters throwing money at me and fucking, no one cared about us, right? So it's like, we also weren't that good, to be honest with you, so we got shit on a lot. Like, we got shit on to the point where like, I would be willing to guess that 99% of people in here, if they got shit on as hard as some of us got shit on that football team, would crumble, like mentally crumble. Like relentlessly belittled and like just fucking every day, like, how bad are you gonna suck today? And you're like, not that bad, I guess. I don't know. A little less.
Less than last game.
I don't know if I told this story before. I think I did. And my old coach, Coach Sarvis, if he's watching by chance, I love you, Coach, but he had a speech impediment. And it's not like making fun of him or anything like that, it's just he had like a stutter. But Coach Sarvis had a stutter when he was calm. When Coach Sarvis was angry, he was clear as a bell. There's no stutter. Everything was eloquently put and like properly enunciated. The word fuck was perfect every time. Or you fucking piece of shit was perfect every time, right? So, but I mean, just dealing with guys like, he's a super intense dude, man. Like, ex-Marine or whatever the fuck he was, like part of like, I forget what the fuck he was a part of, but he went to Norwich or something, but he was like military dude, like, he's on your ass, man, like in your face spitting. So it's like, you know, as much as I look back at those times like, man, that was fucking shitty, it's like I look back and I'm like, yeah, well, being around average people who are just talking shit or whatever, it doesn't bother me at all. That's why I talk so much shit online to people, because I'm just like, if you can't, like, if you come at me, I'm gonna give it back. Like, exactly. I'm not gonna fucking cower away from you. Like, don't say that, it's me. It's like, well, fuck your mom then, fucking motherfucker. Yeah, like, she eats shit. Or like, scroll their profile and be like, yeah, your fucking dog looks ugly. I hope it dies. They're like, whoa.
I was dying because I saw someone was selling you for that private account. And they're like, yo, come meet me at the boxing gym. Like,
yeah, I give you the address. I'll post it permanently.
Just give us the info. We'll shoot the fight.
Yeah. And it'll be perfect because there you'll have to sign a waiver and you can't charge me after. You agreed to the boxing match with the big gloves on, right? You're fine. We're all good. You're not gonna jump people in the street and all this crap. But yeah, I mean, football was a blessing for me, and it was like the people I met and all the experiences I had through it, like, and the people I met as a result of being down where I played football in Rhode Island. Like, if I had never met the people I met after playing football, I would have never. I just wouldn't have done what I would have been on a completely different life path, right? So, would have been an interesting one. I don't know what it would have been, but probably be drunk every day and fucking partying way too much. But since I like transitioned right into bodybuilding right away, my last semester of college, I was like, I skipped all that. Like, I would party, like, still, like, I would not when I was prepping for a show, but like I skipped that whole, like, where people like have no responsibility anymore and like they don't know what to do with themselves, they develop these bad habits. I went right into like super like focused prep. I can't fucking do anything but train and eat and sleep, and I was like, that saved me from all that shit. It also made me fucking, when I could party like a complete fucking animal, but